Hon, coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan in Western Visayas in the Philippines. I'm having my morning cup of tea. Tea is what I'm drinking. Green tea, switched up on you. Drinking the green tea, more healthy than the 3-in-1, I'm told. So switched up to my green tea now. Let me just make sure I'm online here. Hope everyone is having a good day wherever you are. Good day, good morning, good evening. You know, we're all in different times. All right, it looks like I'm online. I always start with the weather as well. I always start here in Numancia. Currently, it's about 73 degrees Fahrenheit here in Numancia, Aklan. No rain, sunny, like you can see here, like bright and sunny already. Look at that sun. Super bright already, early in the morning. There's going to be a little kid behind me right there. That's Gub Gub. Gub Gub is Dazzle's nephew, our nephew. So he's vacationing with us during the Holy Week. So I'm the babysitter. I'm watching Gub Gub because Leanna just walked by. She's still gonna sleep. Still too early for Leanna, and of course Dazzle. She's still sleeping. So I'm Gub Gub's babysitter for now. He's okay there. He's got like Dazzle bought him some Hot Wheels. He's got some Hot Wheels at 7-Eleven. Man, they sell Hot Wheels at 7-Eleven. Who would have thunk? It's like Hot Wheels at 7-Eleven. So no rain at all. No, it hasn't rained here for the past few days in Numancia, Aklan. Looking at the Pag-asa website. They are the weather people, the government weather people here in the Philippines. Looks like towards the Ilocos region, Cagayan Valley. It also says here Metro Manila and rest of the country, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers. But here in Numancia, Aklan, nothing but blue skies. Like I said, look at the bright sun already. It's not even 7 a.m. Nice sun already here. Kim, hey, Kim Mandal. All right, hello, Gino. I hope everything is well. And today is Holy Thursday here. It's a holiday. It's a holiday here. Today's a holiday. Tomorrow's a holiday. Good Friday. Very quiet, kind of eerily quiet actually. When I took Bumblebee yesterday to Numancia to get some items at Talipapa. Talipapa is kind of like a smaller market area. It's not the big public market. Talipapa is just a few sari-sari stores basically. And I bought some eggs, bought some vegetables. It just feels like eerily quiet. Usually, Holy Week is a busy time. Everybody's there's activity, but I guess because of the oil prices, gasoline prices, everybody's just staying home and safe at home. Let me just look here. I always report on the dollar to peso exchange. Yesterday, it closed at 60.74. Again, another history low for the pesos against the US dollar. 60.74. Man, that's like high exchange rate here for your dollar to a Philippine peso. Goku, hi, good news. Government finally resolved the traffic. right. It's like that it is. It's gonna solve the traffic problems. Here in the province, we don't have traffic issues anyway, but I'm sure in Manila there'll be less traffic because of the oil crisis. A lot of issues about the gas. That seems to be like the hot topic here. Because the gas prices here in the Philippines, so that you can just compare in the United States, on average right now, anywhere here in the Philippines, our gasoline here in the Philippines is about $2 higher per gallon. In what you pay in the United States, we're paying $2 more here in the Philippines. So you can imagine, it's like it's hard enough in the United States, right? People got money there, people can afford. Here in the Philippines, our gasoline is $2 a gallon more than the price in the United States. That's just like unreal to even think that. It's always been a little higher here in the Philippines as far as gas prices here. But right now it's like it went to the moon. It like skyrocketed. We went from about before the crisis, we went from 58 pesos per liter to over 100 now. Very few gas stations now, even here in Aklan province, or maybe you'll find a 98, 99, but most of them are triple digits now. So almost double the price from a month ago. So that's why less traffic on the road, because even like the jeepney drivers, tricycle drivers, a lot of them are just staying home now because they can't make enough money. It's like the government is holding them from raising the fare, the public transportation fare. So if you're paying for higher diesel is like 140 pesos per liter for diesel. That's like over $2 per liter already. Like you're looking at $7-8 a gallon for diesel. So a lot of them are just deciding to stay home because they're not making any money. Gubs there playing with his Hot Wheels. I had a old Matchbox. I carried this old one piece of Matchbox that a friend of mine had given me because I like the VW bus. I've always here it is. I always like the VW bus, and a friend of mine, this was a gift from a friend of mine that gave me this Matchbox. It's not Hot Wheels, it's Matchbox VW bus. I always kind of dreamed of owning one, but they're harder to find now. The VW bus, the ones back in the 60s and 70s. Not many, but not many. Oh, that's not a toy, buddy. That's my case for my glasses. Gub is like 6 years old, so you know how 6 years old are, But he's a good kid. He's like curious about everything in our house. He's like wanting to play with everything in our house. Doug Henderson, just watch Artemis 2 lift off, brings back. Ooh, Artemis. That must be like shuttle or something. I don't know. I haven't paid attention to the news in the United States. All the news I'm reading is the news here in the Philippines. We got plenty of news here in the Philippines. Lots of things going on. That's why I wanted to report you the different things. I mean, it's just like so busy with the news, with the oil crisis, with the flood corruption thing. I mean, there's all kinds of news here in the Philippines. News here has never been so busy. Lone Star, hey Alan, my good friend in Texas. Howdy, Alan. We just watched the Artemis 2 launch. Okay, everybody's watching. That's all right. 2 launch. Very excited for us. NASA launch to the moon. All right. Yeah, I haven't been paying attention to the U.S. news. I'm focusing more on the Philippine news, like I said, because I wanted to share what's going on here in the Philippines. Merlwin, good morning, brother, and all. Please subscribe. Oh, thank you. Hit the bell, like, comment. Kuya Gino is fun to watch. Very smart. Oh, thank you for the kind words, my brother. Mabuhay kapo, mabuhay. Salamat. Hey, Derek, aloha, brother. Hey, Dodgers won again, man. We're like 4-1 now, man. Man, Otani was awesome. I know Otani was like smoking it, 6 strikeouts. Man, he was just smoking him in 6 innings. It's going to be a good year for the Dodgers, man. You look like, oh yeah, SpongeBob right there, man. Hey, Lowell, kamusta, Lowell? Mabuti ako, kapatid. Mabuti ako. Salamat. God bless, my brother. Niels, hey, Niels. Niels is here in the Philippines. Unless you've left already, but I might not be keeping track of my time, but I know Niels was here in the Pangasinan area. Yeah, go play with it. You can play with that. All right. Brian has said hi. All right. Artemis 2 is going to the moon. All right, I'm gonna have to watch it now. I'm gonna have to watch the Artemis 2 now on YouTube. Okay, all right. So Niels is still in Pangasinan. All right. I wasn't sure whether I know how long you're going to be in the Philippines, but enjoy that time with the family, man. That's just so awesome, man. I'm happy for you, brother. I'm happy for you. That's always an amazing time when you're spending time with the family. Brian said, Captain Ron, hey, my grandfather worked at Cape Kennedy back in the 70s. All right, all right. In Cape Kennedy in Florida, right? Florida, Florida. I know they launched in Florida, and I know they launched in Houston, or Houston's like recovery. I don't know where they're launching Artemis 2. Good morning, Gino and the posse. Hey, good morning, JP Calibo. Oh, the crash. I don't know about the crash. I don't know about the crash. Morning, JP. God bless. God bless. God bless. Lowell to JP. All right, let me go to all the. I'll start out with some good news, right? Because I don't want to baden the mood with all like, but usually news is bad, man. So let me give you some good news here in the Philippines. Apple, the company Apple, investing in the Philippines, in Laguna, Tarlac, and Mandaluyong, 3 areas. Creating jobs and modern facilities here in the Philippines. That's big, man. That's big. I mean, Apple, I don't think you can get one of the bigger companies. So they're investing here in the Philippines, becoming a major hub here in Southeast Asia, set to assemble devices locally. So pretty soon, you're going to see your Apple phones going to be assembled here in the Philippines. The electronics production facilities, they're going to build them in Laguna, Tarlac, and Mandaluyong. The plants will assemble key products, iPhones, iPads, MacBooks, under the label assembled in the Philippines. Man, that's big, man. I mean, it's like we need the jobs here in the Philippines. And the project expected to create thousands of jobs and boost local industries, with training programs planned to develop a skilled Filipino workforce, strengthen the country's role in global technology manufacturing. I'm sure Apple, the way I'm thinking, they're pivoting out of China, some of their operations in China as far as like assembling and building iPhones. So they're looking toward, I know Vietnam already taking a big market off China. Now the Philippines, we're going to be assembling Apple here in the Philippines. Another good news, let's start, like I said, let's start out with the good news. Plenty of bad news in the world. So just in, Universal Studios, they have been approved to build Universal Studios on Manila Bay. So it's coming. They're going to start building a new Universal Studios in Manila Bay here in the Philippines. Major tourism infrastructure development. If you can imagine a theme park, people have been to Universal Studios in the United States. Singapore has got a Universal Studios. So now they're going to build a Universal Studios in Manila, by Manila Bay. Planned attractions will include Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Sci-Fi City, DreamWorks District, Waterworld Arena, and Philippine-inspired Universal Boulevard. So there's going to be a theme like Philippine, but that's pretty cool. That's very cool. The park is expected to feature AI-driven rides. Even the rides will be AI-driven. And that's like, the newest high tech in. The project is projected to create over 50,000 jobs, boost tourism, and position Manila as a global entertainment hub. Apple hiring Filipinos, Universal Studios hiring Filipinos, man, that is just awesome. The more things come here to the Philippines, the more jobs for Filipinos here just incredible because maybe it will boost everything here in the Philippines. That way, Filipinos don't have to go overseas as much anyway. I have news. Blue Arrow did 240 kilometers. Yes, wow, JP, that's awesome. That's awesome, and man, that's a lot of mileage, man. That's a lot of 240 kilometers. Good, yeah, good to hear. Good to hear, JP. Today, I know it's April Fools. It's April 2nd here, but I do know here in the Philippines, we don't do much on April Fools. It's like that's more like an American thing. It's like you don't, pranking and all that is not a big thing here in the Philippines. Good apple moving out of, yeah, right. That's the same thing I'm thinking, because I do know Vietnam is taking a lot of what China used to do. Now the Philippines, I know, is starting to do the same. More things gonna be made in the Philippines and assembled in the Philippines. Good ride, JP. I miss riding. Good morning, brother. Good morning, Jokano. Good morning, Jokano. Hopefully, Apple will also open company-owned stores in the Philippines. Company-owned stores. I'm pretty sure. I mean, Apple is big here. You know that, Alan. You've been here, man. You've been to Manila. You know, Filipinos are funny, man, because there's so many other phones, so many smartphones, cheaper phones. But you know how that is. You know how it's a status symbol. You gotta have an iPhone or the latest iPhone. People line up here for when they release the new Apple. JP, are you posting your adventures on Facebook or YouTube yet? I might have to get an iPhone since they are moving out of China. April Fools, I'm too old to change from Android. All right. Derek, hopefully iPhone will be cheaper in the Philippines now. Yeah, iPhone is more expensive. If you're in the United States planning on moving here to the Philippines, get your iPhone in the United States. It's more expensive to get your iPhone here because the duty on it or something, but and then it's best to get, if you're coming here from the US, go ahead and bring your iPhone here. JP, Captain Ron, I am still thinking about it, YouTube, but the more I learn, the more I realize it's a real job. It is. It's a lot of work. People think YouTube is easy, but it's really not. Me, I'm blessed that I have Dazzle, because Dazzle edits a lot of the videos. She does all the thumbnails for me, and now she's recording for me. So she's really reduced the amount of work that I have to do with YouTube. Now the main thing is this live stream. And for me, I can do this. I can actually do these live streams every day, because there's enough that I can talk about. There's enough interest about the Philippines that it's not a problem. But I do like every other day lessen my load, lessen my voice too, because I struggle with my voice sometimes. I get my voice get hoarse easily because of the treatments that I endured on my neck area. So I still got dry mouth. My voice box has never been the same after my treatments. Palestine. Okay, I don't really do a lot of that, the political stuff there. Good morning, Brother Gino. Shalom. Hey, shalom. Shalom from Israel. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the live stream. All right, let me hit my topic some more. I saw this one article. I found this interesting because people always talk about how the Philippines, how the birth rate, everybody just keep having kids here in the Philippines. So this actually caught my eye because people always say, well, how come they're having so many kids? They're already a poor country. How come having all kids? But I saw this article. It says here, Philippines fertility rate dropped by dropped to 1.7. So we are actually now. It went from let me see here. Let me read this really clear. I don't want to mess up it went from 1.9 back in 2022. Now in 2025, it went to 1.7. And I have noticed that, more when I first got here to the Philippines 15 years ago, seems like everybody was just having kids. You see a lot of single moms here, young people having kids, even like 18, 19, early 20s, people were having kids. You don't see that dynamic as much anymore because even my friends that are, I graduated with, 10 years ago, they graduated college. A lot of them are just having like one kid. So I could see how, because it's hard to afford, having more than one kid now. So that's happening now. It's like it dropped from 1.9 in 3 years to 1.7. And it's now below, it says here, it's now below. There's a 2.1 replacement level that is needed to sustain population growth. So at the current rate now, the population in the Philippines is not going to grow anymore like steadily like it used to in the past, because it says here you need 2.1 in order to continue to grow your population. So now we're at 1.7, and I actually think it's going to drop even more, with all these crises, all these things going on. It's like getting expensive here, for average Filipino. Always been hard to, that's why people go overseas, because it's if you just work here in the Philippines, if you're just like middle class, or it's hard to get by. It's hard to get by for many Filipinos. So I even expect that to lower as far as the birth rate here in the Philippines. It's not cheap to raise a kid, man. It's not cheaper to raise a kid. All right, let me just, I don't want to miss any comments here. Hey, is my Copico Blanca not working, or did I see a kid behind? Oh yeah, that's Gub Gub. That's Gub Gub. He's staying with us. He's our nephew from Katiklan. He's 6 years old. He keeps himself busy. I'm kind of like his babysitter since everybody's still sleeping. I'm kind of keeping an eye on him. He's staying here for Holy Week. It's his vacation here. That's Gub Gub right there. Liana usually watches him, but Liana's sleeping right now. Elna, here Gub Gub. You want to say hello, Gub Gub? You want to say something? He's shy. And plus he's got a little bit of autism. He actually lived with Dazzle and I for over a year when he was younger. We it was like when after my treatments, his mom Myra and Gub Gub, they stayed with us because I couldn't, I was coming off my treatments and Dazzle needed help to take care of me. So they lived with us here. So he was here with us for like almost a year. And now his mom works in Boracay now. Elna is my production assistant. Yeah. I cook and watch the Elna edits. Fortune is on vacation. Yeah, I saw his pictures. Fortune and I were like brothers, man. We were always like texting. Man, he sent me all these. Man, he's staying at an amazing resort in Batangas. Swimming pool, the beach, good food, and it's like he's having an amazing time in Batangas. Apple Pay will be in the Philippines 2026. Oh, Apple Pay. All right. Thank you for that information, Phil. Rance, hello and have a blessed day. Hello. Thank you, Rance. Have a blessed day, Rance. Nice plan, Lone Star. Was she editor or girlfriend first? Good day, Colonel. Hey, Colonel. My brother in Iloilo City. Hello, Colonel. Good morning. Beluz. All right, Beluz. My brother in Leyte. Thank you. Salute. Thank you, Beluz. I did get a haircut yesterday, man. I got my high and tight. I got my high and tight again, man. I caught my barber yesterday because I figure today's a holiday, tomorrow's a holiday. So I went ahead and went to Calibo and got a haircut. Also did grocery, bunch of errands. I did a bunch of errands while I was in Calibo because I tried to do everything in Calibo when I go there because to save on gas, because I drove our car yesterday. I didn't take a Bumblebee, our tricycle to Calibo. JP, hello Colonel. Hey Colonel, how are you goats doing? Yeah, I saw the goats, man. Dazzle's like in love with the little brown one, the little baby. Dazzle used to raise goats in Katiklan when she was younger. She was in charge of raising goats and cleaning the pig pen. Cleaning the pig pen. So Dazzle knows all about that stuff. So she was like, she fell in love with that little brown goat that the Colonel has. Smash the like. Thank you, Belize. Thank you, Belize. Master Drill Sergeant, Mister. All right. Lowell, morning, Colonel. Belize, God bless. Hello, little man. Yeah, he went, he's like, I just had to keep an eye on him because he's pretty behaved. I mean, he just has a lot of energy. It's like he doesn't talk much. He's a little verbal. There's some words that he can say, but he's a good kid. It's like I said, he stayed, he likes his Tito Gino because I used to take him to the playground. He used to have a bicycle here. I bought him his first bicycle. So we love him. That's why we when he gets to go vacation with us, he gets to stay with us. Morning, Colonel Goat Guy. The Goat Guy, I know, right? Colonel's got a lot of goats. I also saw some, not just goats, but I saw turkey. He got 2 turkeys. He's got I don't know what kind, is it that I don't think it's a duck. It's more like a goose. It looked like a goose. Got a nice little setup there, raising goats. The goat farmer, herder, goat farmer. JP, I think I remember seeing him in some older. Yes, you have. He used to live with us. JP. Him and his mom used to live with us. 2023, right after my treatments, because I couldn't do anything. I had a hard time coming up and down the stairs, and I didn't want Dazzle to be the only one taking care of me. And so Mai and stayed with us, Gub's mom, to help Dazzle take care of me. The goats are doing well, Captain Ron. Have 12. Oh, 12, man. Man, they're, goats are like coveted here. It's a good business that the Colonel's getting into. Goats is kind of like a delicacy here in Panay Island. More pricier than beef. You can sell it at a higher price. Kaldaretang goat, kambing is kanding here, kanding. I mean, it's expensive meat here, So if you're Colonel's raising them for meat to sell them, you can make some good money. Good money with goats here. Daniel, howdy, Daniel. Daniel, good morning, my brother, my Panay Posse brothers. Lone Star, JP, why first? Why first? LOL. Why first? Joe Cano from the Colonel. Good morning, Daniel. JP. Belus, Captain Ron from Daniel. Good morning, Lowell. JP, the Colonel's new channel. GOAT, Goat TV. New meaning for the Goat channel. Goat Colonel. I would have never thought of it, bro. Sir, all right, beautiful. Colonel will need a new beard. Goatee, that's funny. Holy crap, 12. The Colonel is the goat. Holy crap, 12 goats. He is the goat. I love goat tacos. I've not had goat tacos. They're not big on tacos here, JP. A lot of goat here. Kilawin, that's a popular dish, like the Merlin. Even the skin of goat is included. And Kilawin is kind of like ceviche, but very popular. Kilawin goat, very popular dish here. JP, I'm with you all the way. Do you have to feed the goats, or do they eat everything, Captain Ron? The way I've seen goats. One time there was during the pandemic, they allowed a farmer here outside bring the goats because during the pandemic the grass here had overgrown. Then I would just see goats here in our community, but they're gone now. They don't let them now. But at one time during the pandemic, and I see them, man, they eat anything green they eat, man. Move over, Tom Brady. Yeah, move over, Tom Brady. The new goat, the Colonel, the new goat. Said hi, or be careful, or Colonel will get your goat. Get your goat. All right, so I'm on the bottom here. So let me continue. Of the different topics. Another issue, of course, Holy Week. Right now is Holy Week, so it just has a different feel. Holy Week here in the Philippines, of course, it started Sunday, Palm Sunday, last Sunday, to Easter Sunday. Oh, hold on. Did he go outside? Hold on. I gotta check. Oh, here. I thought he opened my gate, man. You gotta stay inside. Don't open the gate, okay? Just stay inside. I thought man, I might lose my job babysitting. So it has a different feel, of course, with the gas prices. A lot of people, of course, there's people that already bought their tickets, even to Boracay. There's still some people in Boracay. The numbers are not the normal Holy Week. Holy Week in Boracay is like the busiest time. But right now, there's still a good crowd. I saw pictures on Front Beach. There's still a good crowd yesterday, but not the numbers that they used to get because of a lot of people had bought their tickets in advance already, probably months ago, so they went ahead and took their vacation anyway. Same thing in Baguio City. That's a place where everybody goes during Holy Week, and they're experiencing like a 50% drop on visitors during Holy Week. I actually saw a news video here in the Philippines about Benguet province is one of the places in the Philippines. It's up near Baguio City that produces all the vegetables, a lot of vegetables for Luzon, broccoli, cauliflower, because they grow well up there. It's like mile high. It's almost like the vegetables grow very well there. But the problem they're experiencing, even the farmers, is since less people are going up there, less tourists, and also less trucks are going up there, they're actually selling a lot of their products at a loss. It was kind of strange when I was watching but it did make sense because like the vendors were saying, the farmers and vendors up in Baguio, they're saying like, nobody's buying our stuff. Nobody's coming from Manila with their trucks to buy their stuff. So things that was costing them, they were selling before at 15 pesos, they're now selling at 8. They're actually like almost giving away, like not making a lot of money anymore on their vegetables. So I find that interesting because I noticed, I was expecting prices even here in the public market to at least raise, right? To go up in prices. But I haven't. Gasoline has gone up in prices, but eggs hasn't gone up in price. The lettuce I buy hasn't gone up in price. The cabbage that I buy. I think a lot of it, because all our products here in the province are locally sourced. And, the products that you sell high, nobody will buy it here. If you have like say you raise broccoli here, which they don't grow well here anyway, and just raise the price, not many people eat broccoli anyway, or call it, the expensive vegetables. Not a lot of Filipinos will buy that anyway. So you're kind of like, everything, Filipinos just know the minute there's an oil crisis or some kind of crisis, man, Filipinos will just start eating sweet potato, man. Kamote here in the Philippines, man. Because that's kind of like the go-to of Filipinos is eat kamote, the sweet potato, and even the leaves that they grow, talbos, they call it talbos ng kamote. They'll start picking the leaves, boiling that, and eating that with rice. Filipinos can get by because like dried fish is always going to be cheap. They're not, if you raise the price, like I know here in the province, if you raise the price of pork, beef, or chicken, they're not going to eat it. They're not gonna eat it because, like, I know I'm not. If the prices go up too much, I'm like, I'm sticking to fish. And I'm gonna be buying like what the cheapest fish I can get. And heck, I might even start eating dried fish if I have to, man. But that's just how Filipinos think. It's like that's why Filipinos are resilient. That's why Filipinos will survive any crisis that you throw at them because. Filipinos just have gone through harder times. Yeah, they know how to survive. They start going out in the jungle and start foraging for like stuff they can eat in the jungle. That's how Filipinos roll here in the province. My friend Belus knows all about that. He's got his workers. The workers in the vanilla farm, in his farm. They'll start foraging for different food that's out in the jungle just to save money. Let me go back to my comments because the comments go fast and I don't want to get too behind here. Be careful, Colonel. Okay, there you go. There is a variety of forage on the farm for now, but going to plant other varieties, grasses and plants. Yeah, I saw that you were even removing the poisonous, the poison that can poison the goats. I saw that, Colonel. That was good. That was good. Because they'll eat anything, man. Goats will eat anything, man. Nice to see the comments on your channel. All right, Daniel. Yeah, no, I gotta keep up. It's me, June from San Diego. Gub is cute. You're good with kids, bro. I don't know if I'm good with kids, man. You good, Gub? He's just active, man. He's got a lot of energy. He's like in and out of the house. I just gotta keep an eye on him. Raruke, is it a chaos right now with oil prices hike to visit in Manila area? I'm not from Manila, so I couldn't tell you all that's going on in Manila, but for sure they're having issues. Like I know there was one article I was going to share to you. And it says here, another slap in the face of Manila commuters. So during the April the 2nd, which is today, until April 5, that's a few, and it's Holy Week. During Holy Week, trains shut down. They're going to shut down the rail services in Manila. And they're not going to open it until April the 6th at 5 a.m. LRT 1, LRT 2, and MRT 3. Those are like the kind of like subways rail that's above ground that travel all in Manila. They're shutting it down. And the reason that they're shutting it down, and that's going to create more, hopefully it's Holy Week, people aren't at work. It's a holiday today and tomorrow. So hopefully people will just stay home, save their money, and stay home. But that could create a transportation issue in Manila, right? Because that transports a lot of people in Manila. A lot of it, they're saying they're shutting down the railways to reduce public transport because of the rising fuel costs. So I don't understand how they run, but they're saying that it'll be shut down. So basically, from Holy Thursday, which is today, until Easter Sunday, your LRT and MRT lines are not going to be affected. There's 2 LRT lines affected and 1 MRT line affected. And they will resume again on Monday at 5 a.m. That's when people have to go back to work. So maybe they decided that because it's a holiday to save on electricity or fuel or whatever, to like shut down to have less of them going. But I couldn't tell you. Manila would be hard, for me. Any city, the prices will go up more in the city because again, I've mentioned it before. In the city, you don't have rice fields, you don't have farms, so all those goods has to be sent to the city. So you're gonna pay 20 to 25% more for items in the city. But if you're not strapped for money, if money's not an issue, and for most that's the case anyway, right? The people in Manila, a lot of times BGC, oil crisis not gonna affect those people. They got money, they got money in BGC. So But visiting Manila, Roque, I don't recommend that anyway. If you're just visiting the Philippines, Manila would be the last place I would want to go to visit the Philippines. If you're vacationing in the Philippines, that's not a vacation to go to Manila. Manila's like traffic, pollution, crime. It's like go to the beaches, go to like Boracay, Palawan, Bohol. There's other better cities in the Iloilo City, Bacolod City, Dumaguete City. So many other better cities than Manila. A trip to Manila is not a vacation. That's just my opinion. That's not, I avoid Manila, and I was born and raised in Manila. Oh, that's mine. That's mine. You want something to drink? You want something to drink? Thirsty? All right, get you a glass. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. So that would not be a vacation to me. Like I said, I was born and raised in Manila. I avoid Manila at all costs. If I can fly to Cebu City or somewhere else, it's just chaos in Manila. Too many people, too congested. Belus, yes, Holy Week here. Wow, I see no one on the farm valley. We were only people working in the orchard. It's like, it feels good to see the commitment to God. Yeah, it is. Here in our province, that's all that's happening here in Numancia. They have those carriages. They put the saints, all kinds of activities by the plaza, by the church. They'll have those stations of the cross. I know at Tigayon Hill in Calibo, they climb up this mountain and there's a station of the cross. You pray at each station. So people are devoted here to their religion. Over 5 hours of driving yesterday, Aklan and Capiz, and traffic appears to be about half as much. Oh, good. Good to know. Thank you for sharing that, JP. And that's what I feel. Every time I'm on the road now, even when I went to Calibo yesterday, when I'm on Bumblebee here in Numancia, I feel like it's not the same amount of people on the road. People don't have the money for fuel. With the gas prices, they're just limiting their travel. And it's vacation anyway. All the kids are off school now. It's summer vacation for the kids. That's why Gub Gub's here. Oh, what's up? What you looking for, Gub Gub? So all the kids are out of school anyway. You're curious? You're curious? What's that? I'm talking to people. All right? You can just play with your toy. All right? Just play with your toy. We'll get you another Hot Wheel maybe later. Are there regular goats or the fainting goats, Colonel? We're crossbreeding, Ron. Oh, crossbreeding. All right. Colonel, remember that is how Jurassic Park. Colonel's gonna start Jurassic Park. Crossbreeding. Get some of the hybrid. Want a strong cross between Boer and native. Ooh, man, I'm gonna learn about goats with the Colonel, man. Cause I watch the Colonel's channel, so we're gonna learn stuff about crazy. The pricing is crazy. We stocked a month ago of goods, sold all our rice in days, not weeks. Yeah, I got my big bag of rice. I already bought my big bag of rice. Everybody's like, we're stocked up on rice, we're stocked up on canned goods. It's like, man, we're like, I'm turning into a prepper here, man. I got so much stuff stocked in the house. I know I can survive. We can survive for months without buying anything now. The Colonel, yes, JP. Black Sheep is a movie about killer sheep. When I saw Black Sheep, I was thinking, Baba Black Sheep. that. JP Colonel is raising the goats to feed his dino experiments. Don't say that on unsecured chat. Y'all crack me up. Rice, dry, and tomatoes, salt. Yeah, for Filipinos, man. You know, Filipinos, rice is life here. And here in the province of Aklan, we're like a big producer of rice in the Philippines. We got excess rice here. It's not an issue. Our mayor Demancia, gives away rice to the people here. We got so much rice here. And with Filipinos, as long as you got rice, you're good. People, they can. Survive on it's called bagoong dayok here in Aklan. It's basically fermented shrimp paste, and man, they can just eat that with rice. I've seen people do that. They'll just Dazzle tells me all the time during hard times growing up, they survived on rice and soy sauce. People just and dried fish. Dried fish is so inexpensive here. Like I said, as long as you got rice, people here in the Philippines will thrive, man. It's not a problem to them, man. A Filipino, as long as you give them a big plate of rice, a stacking plate of rice, you can have a little piece of anything with that rice. They're good to go, man. Lucita, hey, good morning, my friend in Maine. Good morning, Lucita. Joe, he might be training them to find Yamashita's gold. Have they ever found Yamashita's gold? I always hear Yamashita's gold. I don't think they've ever found that thing. Joe Cano, Colonel is actually going into the yard care business. His next bird are going to be sheep. I don't see many sheep here. I don't see many goats. I do, but I don't see many sheep here. We'll prune. There. The Dodger game starts on 1 hour. All right. Perfect timing for me, man. I get to watch my Dodgers again today. That is awesome. Now I'm going to talk about some of the. There's a couple of municipalities in Iloilo City. I haven't been to this one. Maybe Colonel knows this one. Dabgab, not too noisy, okay? Municipality of Ajuy. I never been to that one. Ajuy. They already declared a state of calamity due to the energy emergency. So that's one municipality in Iloilo. Another municipality in Iloilo, that New Lucena. I haven't been. Iloilo City, Iloilo province is big, and I haven't been to a lot of these municipalities, towns in Iloilo. New Lucena. Cool. Keep quiet. I'm gonna take out your toy if you're too noisy. So another town, New Lucena in Iloilo City. So two municipalities in Iloilo have been put in a state of emergency. I'm gonna take that toy away. Come on, you're making too much noise. Go upstairs to Leanna's room. I had to take his toy because I kept telling him to stay quiet, but he won't stay quiet. Joe Cano. All right. How's you doing, Gino? Emilio, hey, Emilio, my friend in Oceanside, California. Hello. All right. And then the next article that I found was the flood control. The flood control project, the scam that was going on in the flood control project. They have recovered 611 million pesos. That's about $10 million they have recovered. The government has recovered. And the breakdown of the funds, there's Roberto Bernardo. He was the DP, Department of Public Works Undersecretary. They recovered 290 million pesos from him. That's about $5 million that they have recovered. Henry Alcantara. He was the former Bulacan district engineer. They recovered 181 million pesos, about $3 million. Gerard Opulencia, 120 million. He was the DP, Department of Public Works Regional Director. They recovered 120 million pesos, $2 million from him. And Sally Santos, owner of SYMS Construction, 20 million pesos they recovered from. So they are recovering money from the flood control projects that people were basically stealing, that they were stealing. And the reason that they're recovering from them, these people are actually helping the government now. I guess they're going to turn into state witness in order to recover more money, because this flood control scam or project is one of the biggest scams that's happened here in the Philippines. Scams here, government corruption, unfortunately, here in the Philippines, it's been going on for many, many years, decades. It's like, and unfortunately, it's hard to combat that, because corruption is just like rooted in every part of society here in the Philippines, unfortunately. So now the DOJ, the Department of Justice here in the Philippines, they are trying to recover 1.5 billion. So they've recovered 611 million pesos already. So they're expecting to recover at least almost triple that still, that they're going to be able to recover here. Hopefully that they can recover. One time they had on the news here, man, it's just incredible the amount of corruption. There were suitcases of money. It's like 1,000 peso bills, and like people were delivering like a dozen suitcases of pesos to different people here. Just the amount, the level of corruption is just. That's why they even had a thing in the bank now where if it's over, I think it's 500 something, 500,000 pesos, they don't allow the banks to release more than that, to keep track, because of this corruption in the flood control. All right, let me see here. JP, I could barely hear. Oh, me, I was just like, I could hear. He was distracting me with this. He was rolling on the floor here. It was distracting me, so it was hard for me to like discuss my topics while he was doing that. Oh, you ain't telling me, man. You ain't telling me, Captain Ron. I don't know how I ended up becoming the babysitter, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm the only one awake, and I didn't expect Gub Gub to be awake this morning. Emilio, I think it's just hoarding to make these businesses make a lot of money. They should. Yeah, I think there was even one time that somebody, political move. They were saying that they should bring back the death penalty for corrupt politicians, but it's never going to happen. We don't have the death penalty here in the Philippines. Good afternoon, Gino. Hey, Sal. Good afternoon, my brother. Southern Cal Benny. Hi, Gino. I just realized that I missed the launch of Artemis 2, the mission back to the moon. I did too. I didn't even know about the launch. So I'll watch it on YouTube. I'll watch the replay on YouTube. Not a big thing. Yeah. So this week is like Holy Week here. Again, the difference that I feel, it's not the same. It's like even on my friends here in the Philippines, not a lot of people are traveling, especially like even domestic air travel. Unless you've already bought your ticket, it doesn't make sense to like cancel it. But for a lot of times, like even in Boracay, for today, tomorrow, a lot of people just start, people here in Panay Island just start driving to Boracay and just walk into the hotels, go to the beach, and that's not happening because I'm looking at the port, Caticlan Jetty Port. There's not as much people at Caticlan Jetty Port. Just not the amount of people that they were expecting. Even like the reservations at the hotels in Boracay, there are a lot of cancellations in the future, unfortunately. Wine end. Southern Cal Benny. It happened 1 hour ago. Yeah, somebody had mentioned on the live stream the Artemis 2. Oh, I was gonna talk about OFWs too. You know how that's playing out because OFWs, overseas Filipino workers. That's a big piece of like there's 2.5 million OFW, overseas Filipino workers in the Middle East area, and a lot of them are staying. A lot of them are. It's not like you would have thought. Like with the crisis and all that. You know, there have been flights, repatriation flights that have been coming into Manila, but the numbers are like maybe 300, 400. It's not like a big exodus of people in the Middle East to come back to the Philippines because, and I've read articles. In the Middle East, a lot of the people that are there, like your domestic helper, your construction worker, a lot of them, man, they're just like, they don't want to leave the Middle East even with all that stuff going on because they know that when they come back to the Philippines, there's no jobs for them to do here. They can't make the same money there, so they're just risking it. Being in a risky situation, in a war situation, just keep working where they are. And a lot of them, I even read an article where the older Filipinas, that are domestic helpers in the Middle East, they're in their 40s, they're in their 50s, they're domestic helpers. They're making decent money working overseas. If they come back here to the Philippines and they've been a domestic helper in the Middle East for 10 years, some of them 20 years, right? Been domestic. If they come back here to the Philippines, there's no work for them in the Philippines, and they know that. They know that if they work as a domestic helper here, if somebody even hires them here, they're gonna make a lot less money here. You're talking maybe 4 or 5 times less than what they're making in the Middle East, and they're supporting people here in the Philippines. That's why for so long here, overseas Filipino workers, OFWs, they are treated like heroes. They're sacrificing, they're working like all over the world in dangerous situations, like the Middle East, in order to send money here to the Philippines to their families so that their kids can go to school here, can attend college here, supporting many people. So a lot of them, they just don't see that choice of like, hey, you would think when bombs stop hitting, Americans, if I was an American living there, man, it's time to go. It's time to go back to America. But a lot of the overseas Filipino workers in the Middle East, they're not leaving because they will just add to like the unemployment here in the Philippines. OFW, they're the reason why at least the Philippines are able to manage their unemployment here, because that's always been the go-to of the government here. Just send Filipinos overseas, and so that they'll send dollars back here to the Philippines. Good morning, Bill Meyer. Prayers, Bill Meyer. 5 days in a wake up. All right. Hey, Daniel, don't forget, send me your flight information so I know what time I need to be in Katiklan to pick you up. Give me the time, brother. Give me the time. I know the day, April 8th. I know you're going to be April 8th, but I don't know the time, the pickup time in Katiklan Airport. One of my first memories watching landing on the moon, interrupting my cartoons. It interrupted your cartoons. That's funny. OFW on contract cannot break it. Take the risk. I don't know about that. They can't break the, I don't know, maybe you know more, but because of the war, because of the war situation, I have seen a lot of OFWs leaving. There's like flights coming into Manila almost every day. 300, 400 OFWs flying back to the Philippines from the Middle East. So I don't know, I'm not an expert, I'm not an expert on how the OFW contract works. But a lot of them, like I'm saying, Sal, they don't, even if they can break the, they don't want to leave, because, they're supporting so many family members here in the Philippines. these people are relying on the OF a lot of times, relying on for food for as sustenance here in the Philippines. All of a sudden you come home and they don't have money to support them. If I was in that situation, I would probably stay too, just because if I know I'm providing for a family here in the Philippines, and that's common. Even in my neighborhood here, even at Camellia Aklan, I see either the husband or the wife working abroad in the Middle East, and either the other spouse member and the kids are here. They got mortgage. They got private schools for their kids. It's like that would be hard. 15 days in a wake up. All right, Derek. Man, everybody's got these days, counting down the days. 15 days in a wake up till Derek comes to Leyte. I remember they would come out with the new kids show for the summer, like HR Puffing Stuff or Sigmund. And I never heard of those shows, man. I didn't go to the United States till 1978, so must be before by the time I got to the United States, I was 12. I was watching like reruns, I'm sure. Arrive at 10:10 a.m. All right, thank you, Dan. April the 8th, right? April the 8th, 10:10. So I just want to make sure, man. I don't want to be there at the wrong date and the wrong time, Daniel. It's already, it's like, I just want to be sure. Southern Cal, Benny, have you heard about Forgotten Island, a new animation film from Universal with Filipino character? Oh, wow. I haven't heard that. Thank you for that, Southern Cal. I'll look forward to that. Forgotten Island. Yeah, that would actually create, even here in the Philippines, of all those OFWs working in the Middle East. If all of a sudden all decide to come back to the Philippines, that would be a big strain, right? 2.5 million OFWs in the Middle East. If a majority of them come home to the Philippines, that would put a burden here in the Philippines, because there's no jobs for them. There's no jobs for them when they come back here. Jobs are already a struggle to get here, even for caregiver, domestic helper here in the Philippines. You don't make a lot of money becoming a domestic helper here. If you're a domestic helper, depending on the area here in the Philippines, you're making at the most like 10,000 pesos a month. Like $170 a month is the most you can make. Where, when they go overseas, they can make to $1,000 a month. That's the difference. That's why a lot of people take that chance to go abroad. You bring in 2.5 million people back to the Philippines, with no jobs for them, and that's going to create a burden for, That's why I don't, the ones that are leaving, maybe their contract is up, or maybe they're really scared. It's like the Philippine government is repatriating them, but I don't see the numbers to become high. It's not like when COVID happened, when the pandemic happened, how the Americans that were abroad, they're all flying back to the United States. I don't see that big exodus of OFWs coming from the Middle East back here into the Philippines. Maybe a lot of these people were their contract was going to end anyway. Maybe their employer in the Middle East said, I don't need you. Maybe that kind of situation. JP Calibo, Daniel, I am rooting for you and fishing Dazzle, but my money, yeah, we're gonna go fishing. So Daniel gets here April 8th, April 9th. I already made reservations at Loola's Fish Farm. So we're all gonna go fishing on April the 9th at Loola's Fish Farm. You must miss Redford White's movies. Yeah, I've heard of Redford White. I remember him kind of from School Bukul. That's where he came from, Redford White. I did see some of his movies, like replays. Maybe when I was stationed at Clark, I saw someone. I know who Redford White is. Is a Filipino guy that looks like a white guy. That's why they call him Redford White. OFW is like an extended deployments. Heroes for sure, definitely, definitely. The Philippines would struggle economically without the OFWs. They are the heroes because man, anytime you would sacrifice yourself to go abroad, especially in the Middle East, that's not, there's stories that happens in the Middle East, unfortunately, or some of, unfortunate stories with some of the domestic helpers, caregivers that go there. You're in a foreign land, a lot of times staying there for 10, 15, 20 years, just so you can send money to your family in the Philippines, man. That's a big sacrifice. Hey, Gino, Dilo, did you guys get to watch the Artemis? No, not yet. Everybody's talking about the Artemis too. I didn't get to watch it. I didn't even know about it. Today from Kennedy Space Center. Kennedy Space Center. All right. Thank you for saying at the Kennedy. So it's in Florida. Where it left. All right. Let me say finish that. OFW. That was the massive ship. All right. I tried to delete it. I use my laptop here. Once I talk about the story, I think I've hit. I'm gonna hit this story. I saw this military-wise. One topic, military related. It's this article. It says how Japan and the Philippines are becoming unsinkable missile carriers. I found it, I've got military background, Air Force, so I'll give you one story here in the Philippines regarding Japan and the Philippines. They're creating kind of like a golden dome connection all the way from Japan. Japan's up there, Philippines down here. So they're creating that that coverage for like a golden dome, like missiles in those areas, that corridor. And what's happening, like Japan, of course, Japan is intensifying more missiles. They're accumulating more missiles in Japan because China always practices, I was even back in the early 2000s when I lived in Japan. They were always shooting rockets over Japan. It would fly, these rockets would fly over Japan and land in the Pacific Ocean. China was doing that even in the and they still doing it, just because they just want you to let you know that, hey, we can hit you with our missiles. Kind of like just a show of force. So Japan is doing the same thing now. They're not firing missiles in China, but they have missiles now. It's more, because you see missiles usually in an American aircraft carrier launching from a carrier, right? That's the image that you see in the Middle East now, firing those missiles. But basically Japan and the Philippines, it's an unsinkable aircraft carrier. It's a land, in this land where you have the missiles that can hit China. Here in the Philippines, it's called BrahMos missiles. We have a contract with India. India is providing Indian-made BrahMos supersonic anti-ship missiles. They're already in the northern Luzon area. They're already deployed. The Marines, Philippine Marines have already deployed those. It started 2024. They delivered again 2025, and more delivery coming as far as the BrahMos missiles coming from India. And also the United States. Every time the United States for Balikatan exercises, they come here to the Philippines for a shoulder to shoulder exercise. They bring in the Typhoon. It's called Typhoon missile. Basically, it's a Tomahawk missiles that can hit China from the Philippines, and they're movable. The BrahMos and the Typhoon missiles, the cruise missiles, basically, they're all on moving devices here in the Philippines. It's not like easily hit. You can hide them, you can camouflage them, you can move them around. So they're not an easy target for them to hit. The Chinese, of course, are upset every time the Americans do that. This year, I'm sure Balikatan this year again, 2026, United States will bring in more of the Typhoon missiles here, and they'll stay every year. All the missiles just they land here in the Philippines, they stay here in the Philippines to add to the defense of the Philippines, the defense, the Golden Dome that from Japan to the Philippines that they're building to defend just in case China decides to attack Taiwan. So that's the dome, the Golden Dome is what they're calling it here. All right, I'll discuss that one topic. I do have a topic today. I was gonna, as far as I always try to have a topic for my my live stream. Let me just go through here. Artemis. Gino, you need a jungle gym. I don't know, man. I don't babysit. I don't know how I all of a sudden got tasked with a babysitting duty. But, I don't mind kids, but, when Leanna or Dazzle watches them, it's like, I'm not big on kids. Filipino, Japanese, myself. Good military alliance. Definitely, right? All right, Sal? Japanese Navy, super sharp. And this year, for the first time ever, since after World War II, Japanese forces, about 1,000 Japanese forces will join Balikatan exercises. So it's amazing how, back in World War II, Japanese occupied the Philippines. They were the bad guys, right? During World War II here in the Philippines. Now they're the good guys. They're coming here to conduct exercises with Americans, Filipinos, now Japanese. 1,000 soldiers from Japan will be here. And I'm sure they're going to be, working with the missiles, cruise missiles, making sure that the Philippines will be defended just in case China does invade Taiwan, which they keep saying they're going to invade Taiwan. All right, my topic today, I'm going to discuss silver lining with the energy crisis. I just start thinking, I see all these bad things, like bad news about the oil, gasoline, diesel. But to me, there's also a silver lining when it comes to the energy emergency that they're calling it here in the Philippines. People are still doing things here, more family oriented, just like us. We're doing more. We're doing karaoke. We're staying, like Gub Gub's here with us. So there's just more activity. People are staying home, but hanging out more with their families. And one thing here in Aklan, it happened during the pandemic here in Aklan, and I'm seeing it now. When I'm on Bumblebee, when I go to the plaza, there's more people on bicycles now. It's like, there was like, during the pandemic, I could not believe, like in Aklan, and I'm a big cyclist. I've always liked riding bicycles. I've had road bikes before. I had mountain bikes before. But again, it's happening again. You see so many bicycle riders now in Aklan province, just like it happened during the pandemic. I think everybody started, because you just wanted to get out of the house during the pandemic. So everybody had bicycles. So I'm sure it's probably the same bicycles that they had during the pandemic, and they just had to like tune it up, and they're back on the road. I'm seeing more bicycles. People even to Calibo, you see from Numancia in the morning when I was getting my pandesal the other day, you see people like construction workers even. Like you can see in the Philippines, you can tell they're construction workers because they carry their tools. It's not in a backpack, but somehow they carry their tools. Usually they're on motorbikes. You'll see them. But this time, they're on bicycles. You see guys like, they got all their construction gear with them, riding in bicycles, going to Calibo because construction in Calibo is expanding. There's like construction going on at the Capitol area, by the Pastrana behind the museum. They're building like a big structure there, big hotel, I don't know. But there's always construction workers that need to come from our area here in Numancia to Calibo. It's about 5 kilometers. So I'm seeing more, that surprised me. I was like, oh, wow. When I was buying my pandesal, I was like, one after the other. You can tell they're, like I said, you can tell they're construction workers because they're carrying their tools and they're riding their bicycles and they're headed to Calibo to work. So less traffic, definitely less traffic in Calibo. Calibo, you have so many tricycles there usually. And now, I think a lot of the tricycles, they're just deciding to stay home because they're not making any money. Less people are going out, less people even to the mall, even anywhere I go, it's like when I went grocery shopping yesterday, I got my haircut, I went grocery shopping. I don't see the same amount of people, maybe it's Holy Week, I don't know, but I do just make sense like anywhere I go, here in Numancia, Calibo, anywhere. It's just like less people on the streets, less vehicles on the streets. So, that's a silver lining. And Boracay Island, like I said, less crowded. I mean, this is probably, if money is not an issue with you, this is probably the best time to go to tourist destinations in the Philippines, because if you go to Palawan, you go to Bohol, you go to anywhere tourist destination in the Philippines, I bet you they don't have the same crowd that they normally have during the summer months here. And best time, like I said, if money is not an issue. And I know for many people, money is not an issue. There's a lot of people that can afford traveling, even with higher domestic airline tickets. You might recoup it because a lot of the hotels, like even in Boracay, I know they're discounting their stay now, because they're, the people that have booked their reservations already a few months, for April, maybe for Holy Week, you're stuck, you already paid for it. But further on, like this summer, like the rest of April and May, you can get some good bargains right now. If you check out like agoda.com, even for Boracay, even a lot of the tourist destinations in the Philippines, they're dropping their price because they don't have the bookings. Boracay, I saw a gentleman in Boracay. He was, one of the hotel operators there. They're usually hovering about 70 to 80% book already for Boracay for the summer, or the hotels. They're like at 30 to 40%. So 50% drop on their occupancy. So, you have no choice, right? If you don't have you're going to start dropping your prices to hopefully attract people to vacation. And the silver lining too is at least it's summer vacation for the kids right now, for 2 months. Whole month of April, whole month of May is summer vacation for kids here. No school here in the Philippines. So that's less travel for me, I have to take Leanna to school every day to Numancia. It's not far with Bumblebee, but I don't have to take her there, pick her up, that's gasoline. A lot of people here in our neighborhood here, a lot of the kids here go to school in Calibo for private school, because I don't think we have a private school here in Numancia. It's all public school in Numancia. So some parents here decide to take have their kids go to a private school in Calibo. And Calibo is about 15 minutes from where I live. It's 5 kilometers, about 3 miles. So, just gas from taking your kid here to Calibo and back. And I'm sure that's the same thing happening in Manila. It's like with the kids, the silver lining, the kids are not in school. Usually, when there's school here in the Philippines, anywhere you go, city, province, it doesn't matter where you go here in the Philippines, there's going to be traffic. There's going to be, that in the morning, 7 to 8, and then in the afternoon, 3 to 4. That's like the busiest time anywhere you are in the Philippines, because people are taking their kids to school or picking up their kids from school. So it's usually like the busiest time. So at least, that's not gonna, less people will be on the road, less people spending money on gasoline. And I think one of the best things that I've really seen that I really like, that's puts a smile on my face is you're seeing more community pantry. I saw posts again today. Different areas of the Philippines. It doesn't matter. We're in the Philippines, province, city, doesn't matter. People are starting like food pantries. Because there's hardships for some people, right? Even our community here, people are like asking for donations for canned goods, rice, vegetables, you name it, and people are donating, wanting to help their neighbors. Silver lining for me, it's like usually when hardships happen, when crises happen, it's good to see that people open their heart and help other people. It's like the Philippines needs to do alternative energy sources. Trash. Hey, Ted from Bohol, long time no see. Long time no see, Ted. I bet bike sales are up. I'm sure. I'm sure. It's like because it makes sense. It's like you pedal power, right? You don't need gasoline to pedal power, and especially for us, we're kind of Numancia is kind of like a suburb. We're kind of like the suburb of Calibo. Calibo being the capital town of Aklan province. That's where we have Gaisano Mall, City Mall, Calibo. So, we're only 5 kilometers. 5 kilometers on a bicycle is nothing. It's like you can get there easy on a bicycle. So it makes sense that people are using bicycles instead of their motorbikes. Instead, even for a motorbike now, with gasoline prices over 100 pesos, 100 pesos a liter to fill up your motorbike. It's still 400 pesos, even pushing to like 500 pesos. That's $9, $9. Save the money, start riding a bicycle. So the one thing that's like I mentioned, the food pantry, I'm seeing more and more. They're just people are donating, and it's like they set it up somewhere in the community, and people, you can come in there and get whatever you want, no questions asked. People just helping other people. To me, that's like so awesome to see that again. It happened during the pandemic. That happened here, but now you're seeing more and more of it. Also the government's trying. The government in the Philippines is not all bad. People always like for corruption, all that. They're not all bad. They're doing some good things too. The subsidy for the jeepney drivers, the tricycle drivers, the bus drivers. Sometimes the money does take time. It takes time to get it to them, but at least they got at least money headed their way. Ayuda. I had talked about the Ayuda the other day. Ayuda here in the Philippines, it's kind of like a grant, money given by the government. That's if you're in there's 4Ps here in the Philippines. 4Ps is kind of like the welfare in the Philippines. If you're one of the 4Ps, or of course they have to check your income for you in order for you to be entitled for the Ayuda. But a lot of your barangay, a lot of your towns, they're already setting up like there's people lining up for them. Usually in the covered court, they have covered court here, covered basketball court. Every town here in Aklan has it, and I'm sure different provinces. I'm sure Bohol, where Ted from Bohol is, the same thing. They're starting to give ayuda, money from the government. To like the people that need them, the people. So they're trying. At least they're, it's not like the government's just like not doing anything. They're trying. And with Filipinos, you often hear Filipinos. Filipinos are resilient. It's like they. We go through so many, the Filipino people here, they go through so much, you got earthquakes here, you got floods here, you got typhoons here, you got volcano eruption. There's just so many things that, Filipinos are just very resilient, and they don't need a lot. A lot of times your farmers, your fishermen, just the basic. If they got a roof over their head, they got food on the table, and they don't have to be steak and potatoes. It don't have to be that. Like I said, Filipinos, you give them rice. That's the main thing they need, rice. and they'll forage for leaves, for sweet potato, you name it. They'll come up with something to or dried fish. They'll survive on very very minimal things. Ted. Oh yeah, Gino. Every little town has a court. Yeah, right. Every little town has a covered. For us in our clan, I think pretty much all the towns. It used to be just a court out there in the sun, but they've upgraded. They've upgraded. Most of the. I can't think of a town. There's 17 towns in Aklan province, 17 municipalities, and I've been to most of the plazas of different towns, and I've seen a covered court. It's become kind of like that covered court, the basketball court, in things of emergency, like if there's a typhoon, it becomes like a shelter. It becomes where the government passes out money, the ayuda. Sometimes they have health screening there, like free clinic. Sometimes even a free veterinary. It becomes like the hub of activities in a town is the covered basketball court. Graduation ceremonies, like at Numancia, all the public schools in Numancia, all the graduation ceremony is in our covered court by the plaza. They use it for everything. The covered court is like the do it all here in the province. And you have a tendency here in the Philippines too. That's the thing that I think that one thing that makes Filipinos more resilient than other nations is the family. Here in the family, Filipinos here, for the most part, very rare do you see a Filipino feel like they're alone. Here in the Philippines, it doesn't matter if you're the good son, the good daughter, or if you're the black sheep. Usually there's always a black sheep. Usually there's always a black sheep in the Filipino dynamic of the family. There's usually one that's always unemployed, always just drinks, not contributing, right? But you're still taken in by family. You're still family. Like mom actually mentioned it to me before. They have relatives that are like that. They're in that situation where not contributing to the family. But mom told me one time, well, even stray dogs we feed. Filipinos, when they see a stray dog, like mom loves dogs like we do. So even stray dogs, mom would feed them. If a stray dog come to her house, she'll feed a stray dog. So mom always, it stuck to my head. Mom said that if we even feed a stray dog, and why would we not feed like one of our relatives or one of our misfortune relatives, one of our relatives that don't work, unemployed, and all that. So that's the thing here. It's like family is family. No matter if you're the black sheep, no matter if you're the one that doesn't seem to contribute, you're still part of the family. You don't feel alone. You don't feel like you have to do it yourself. That's why the Philippines has one of the lowest suicide rates in the world. I googled it. Because you have that sense of family here. No matter what, people, your family members here in the U.S. sometimes, or other countries, if you don't do well, if you got down on your luck, you become addicted to drugs or anything. A lot of times, people give up because they don't have anybody to like support them, to like help them out. You're out on your own. Well, you're a drug addict, you're alcoholic. We have no use for you. Here in the Philippines, Filipinos, they do what they can if it's a family member. Took 3 years to recover our court from Odette. Oh, from Typhoon Odette. All right. Well, at least they recovered it, right? At least it's good, Ted, that they recovered. Now, I remember Typhoon Odette. That was like December timeframe a few years ago. Yeah, that was a big typhoon that hit. The family drinker. Sometimes there is two or three. Yeah, right. Sometimes there is more than one, that there's always like it's funny because like at all like family get-togethers, all family like even fiesta time. There's everybody's got that relative. Now in Dazzle's family anyway, they got that where he that one person is known to be the drinker, and they're proud of it too. It's not like they're hiding it, like it's like, oh, he's the one, he can drink, he can, it's almost like they're almost like bragging sometimes that they can drink a lot. And I'm like, man, that's not a good thing. And that's why I think we have, the Philippines has a low suicide rate, because no matter how you're down on your luck, there's always going to be a family member that will take you in, that will help you out. There's always somebody that's going to provide food to you, place for you to stay, you won't feel so alone. You won't feel so alone. All right. I think I covered all my topics already. Let me see. I have one more here. Let me see here. Holy Week. Yeah, I did that already. I try to delete these things, that way I don't repeat myself with these topics. All right, Holy Week. Let me delete that. All right, I hit all my topics. I hit that one topic. Silver lining with the oil crisis. Ted, December. Wow, I can't believe it's been that long. It'll be like four plus years already. Wow, I can't. Man, time is flying by, Ted. But I didn't even think it was that long time ago. Otis the toe. Nels, do you need ammo? Why would I need ammo? All right, hey, no. I don't have pew pew here. I don't need ammunition here. No need for me in my neighborhood. My neighborhood is safe. We have a gated community. We got security guards. Never had an issue. Never had an issue here. All right. Okay. Let me see. Oh, love Boracay. I can discuss this a little bit. Coming up this month, because it's summer. It's summertime here in the Philippines. April and May, these are like the hottest. It's gonna keep getting hotter here, especially during the day. We're already hitting like 90-degree temperatures here, and it's pretty soon we're gonna hit like 100-degree temperatures here. And the humidity, this is like, if you come to the Philippines and you come to the Philippines during April or May, these are the hottest times here in the Philippines. It doesn't get any more hotter. The good thing is you don't get rain. I can't recall if we've ever had a typhoon during the months of April or May. Very rare. Pretty much sunshine. Like you can see, like right now, look at the sun here. It's like bright. Nothing but blue skies, bright sun here in Numancia, Aklan. There used to be an activity here in the Philippines in May, first week of May. There's in the US, I remember Labor Day was like in September. Here it's May. They used to have an event in Boracay Island here in our province of Aklan called La Boracay. They just changed the name. Now they have it's called Love, Love, Love Boracay Week. It's a whole week of activities in Boracay Island. Usually a very busy time, very crowded. But I don't know if it's going to be crowded this year in Boracay because of the cost of flying to Boracay and the fuel costs. But starting April 24 this month, we're in April now, April 2nd here, till May 3rd, they're going to have activities, like I'll list some of the activities that they'll have in Boracay. They're going to have a sand castle festival, really elaborate sand castles that they make in Boracay. They have Parao sailboat. It's kind of like a Parao sailboat race. Parao sailboat, very popular for sunset cruise in Boracay. So they're going to have a race. It's called the Masboy Parao Biniray is what that's called. Beach volleyball, they're going to have a international beach volleyball competition April 24 to 26. Dragon boat races, those are really amazing. Those are fun to watch. Different teams, dragon boat teams from all across the world, from Southeast Asia, some European teams, women's division, men's division, mixed division, right on White Beach, Boracay. Really fun event. April 24 to 26 is the dragon boat races. Also, they play a game in Boracay. I don't know if you guys are familiar. It's called Ultimate Frisbee. It's kind of like a little bit of football, but it's the Frisbee. And there's like almost like an end zone in each place. Almost like American type football. Instead of a football, it's a Frisbee. It's called Ultimate Frisbee. And again, it's a Ultimate Frisbee Nationals. It's called April 25 to April 26. It's the competition in Boracay. Brings in a lot of people. Beach tennis, that's a new event. I've seen it before, beach tennis. It's almost like pickleball. It's like pickleball on the beach, but this year they're going to have like a tournament. If you're into like pickleball tournament, April 27 to 29. They have a kite festival scheduled April 27 to 29. Beach basketball, that's a new thing. I have not seen that, beach basketball. So it would be interesting to watch that this year. Fun run, there's a fun run with your it says here, fun run, paw for a cause. So with your dog, a fun run. I'm sure they're trying to raise money because in the Philippines we have a issue here with stray dogs, so they're gonna raise money for that. Pickleball tournament, May 1 to May 3rd, pickleball tournament. Beach football, beach soccer. And then there's a music festival right on the beach. They'll set up these concerts on the beach. They'll rope it to where they're trying to control it because they don't want it to get out of control like it used to be back a few years ago. A lot of alcohol bottles get left on the beach, but now they've handled that pretty well. Now they put a rope in front of where the concerts are, and you got to have a band to get in, and no plastic cups, So they've done a good job. But there's basically concerts on the beach, beach party. That's why it's a lot of people usually come to. It's a peak of summer in Boracay Island. You got concerts on the beach. You got parties on the beach all the way to early in the morning till 2 a.m. Boracay really comes alive during Love Boracay Week, April 24 to May 3rd. Lots of parties on the beach. If you're into that, if you still like to party, just a lot of activities during that week. Nels, good for you. All baseball game early today. Thursday is a travel day. All right. Yeah, because it's Wednesday in the U.S. All right, I'm gonna have to catch my Dodgers then. Hasn't rained for weeks. I know, Ted. Like, I can't remember the last time it rained here. It's like at least over a week it hasn't rained here. Maybe early in the morning. I think one of my morning walks, I saw the ground was wet. But during the day, man, it's getting hotter and hotter here. It's like right now, man. I wish I could show you but I don't want to move my camera because I don't want to lose my connection. Every time I move, it might mess up my connection. I have my Blue Yeti connected to my internet, so. We've been having power outages. That's the other thing I was going to mention. Almost every day we're having power outages now. Not scheduled, unscheduled power outages here in Aklan province. Which is normal for us because during the summer months, more people use their AC. So a lot more consumption of electricity. So it causes power outages. Most of the power outages so far have only lasted like not even 1 hour. But that's why. But with me, with my live stream, if there's a power outage, I lose the live stream and then I can't recover it. For some reason, I can't recover in YouTube. So people that want to watch the replay can't even watch the replay. So I make sure when I start my live stream, I connect my internet to my Blue Yeti power station. So even if the power goes out, I still got you guys because my internet is running through my power station. Now, if I lose internet, nothing I can do. It's like that has happened in the past too, where my internet just goes out. I have electricity, but my internet goes out. It's part of living here in the Philippines. The Philippines still, behind when it comes to infrastructure. Your internet, your power, your electricity, especially if you decide to live in the province. It's just not stable. It happens. Part of life here in the Philippines: power outages, losing electricity, and also losing internet. But you have, you can go solar. People always tell me, hey, go solar. It's like, that's the solution, right? If you can afford solar, or for internet, buy Starlink. That way you always have internet. So at least there's a solution now. We're not stuck. Me, I'm just too frugal. I've been debating, getting solar, just enough solar to run like my refrigerator, a few fans. I'll get there one day. We're trying to save money because we're trying to have, hopefully soon, have this project, an addition here to our house, build an addition to our house. So just keep saving money until that happens. But I do, that solar is it's in my radar. I do want to have some solar, not the entire house solar, but some solar. That way I can always have a little bit of electricity. I'm noticing a lot of countries training with Philippines to combat China. Yes, you are correct, Young Fresh. Japan will be sending 1,000 troops here to the Philippines. I know the Philippines just signed a contract with France to be kind of like a mutual defense. They might participate in the future. More countries are participating in the Balikatan exercises. I know the Philippines does naval activity with the Australian Navy. Different, they're just, it's per prevention, making sure we know who our friends, we know who our allies, just in case China decides to invade Taiwan. I think, France, they just got signed an agreement. Yep, Japan, like I said, 1,000 troops will be here in Japan this year, this month, April, for Balikatan. They're coming here. The Japanese are coming. The Japanese are coming. Back in the day, that wasn't a good thing, right? World War II. Japanese are coming. They took over Japanese occupation. They took over the Philippines. Now they're like one of our number one ally. U.S., Japan. There's like one or two as far as a Filipino ally now. Amazing how, when you think about it, they were an enemy during World War II. Now they're like one of the top two allies of the Philippines is Japan. Finally, people start to realize, to me, it's unfortunate that people but I guess because, not everybody, I'm military, man. I've always known China's the threat, man. Silently, we've been having this Cold War with China since when I retired from the military in 2004. 22 years ago is when I retired from the military. I served 20 years active duty in the military. And even back then, China was already our enemy there. They sabotage everything we do. They commit cyber terrorism with the U.S., hacking all our, they have spies, they're our enemy. It's unfortunate that only now, some people realize that. We've been having, the Cold War ended with Russia when the fall of the Soviet Union, but China just replaced Russia. We've been having a Cold War with China all this time. But summer can have severe thunderstorms, sometimes here in Bohol. We haven't had thunderstorms. Usually maybe towards the end of May, towards the end of May, The thunderstorms happen usually in the afternoon, like 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Lots of thunder, lots of lightning and thunder. That does happen. But right now, man, it's all, April and May here in Aklan province. Pretty much, it's gonna be like almost drought conditions here. It's like all the green, all the rice fields that are green, all the farms that are green, they're gonna start turning brown here because we're not gonna get much rain. Is there tackling with the frisbee football? No, there's no tackling. You can, like, when it's ultimate frisbee, like when you throw the frisbee, you catch it and the guy in front of you can block you, but there's no tackling. It's not a contact sport, but it's fun, man. It's amazing what they would do, the different throws that they make with the frisbee, and like it's fun to watch. I'm pretty sure if you go on YouTube, if you put the Ultimate Frisbee Philippines, you'll see action. It's especially like sometimes they'll throw it like almost the length of the field, the stripes, and they, it's a long throw and the guy's like flying one-on-one. It's almost like a football, like a long pass in American football, catch the frisbee at the end of the end zone. Man, it's amazing. It's fun to watch. And the guys doing the ultimate frisbee, man, they're like athletes. They're fully fit because they're running around on the beach, running around the beach. You can tell they're like super fit. I remember playing ultimate frisbee in Leadership Academy. All right. I played it a little bit when I lived in Boracay. My first 18 months here in the Philippines, I lived in Boracay Island. So I did beach volleyball. I did ultimate frisbee. I played. I had friends of ours. Like every week we would get together. What unit, sir? What unit? When I was in the Air Force, several units, but I always belonged to the hospital unit. I'm a medical administrative specialist, 20 years working in hospitals. So I was always assigned to a hospital during my military career. Ted Bohol, I like the small racing bancas. That's fun to watch. I know, right? And sometimes the little banca, they're standing, right? They're standing in the banca, man. Little small boats, outrigger, like bamboo, and the guy would be standing there, like controlling like the movements. They go pretty fast on the little banca. But here, I don't think they'll have the banca races. They have the dragon boat. 20 people, 25 people on the dragon boat, and then the parao sailboat. It's like sailing, and not the ones with the engines. Peanut Butter Travels, hey, Peanut Butter Travels here. All right. Ted Bohol, been pretty good this year in Bohol with the power. Only a few brownouts. That's good for us, man. For some reason, I noticed the past week, I would say out of the last 7 days, we've had every 5 days. Like I said, not lasting more than an hour, but enough for me to like connect my internet when I do the live stream. Enough for me to worry that, oh, man, I don't want to lose my live stream, But I do expect more power outages here. It just happens more during the summer months. It's like I guess the grid, the system gets overwhelmed. It gets hot. Everybody starts using their air condition. Air condition takes up a lot of electricity, and then it just can't handle the systems here in the province. Just can't handle them. Merlwin, let's build our own volleyball team when I moved to Boracay. It's easy, man. It's easy to meet with. If you move to Boracay, you're gonna meet people. You're gonna meet people in Boracay. It's so easy, man. It's like you're not the only gonna be the retired person there. There's a big expat community in Boracay Island. There's a couple of hangouts. If you go on White Beach, Nigi Nigi Bar, you walk into Nigi Bar, it's nothing but expats there. It's like same thing on Bolabog Beach, Levantin is the place on Sundays. A lot of expats with kids there, families. They hang out at Leventon, Dini Beach in Diniwit, another bar. Lots of popular expat hangouts. You'll meet them if you live in Boracay. You're an expat. You're gonna get into this group. They play. They don't play pickleball. What is that called? I forgot. But it's a game on the beach where you throw a ball. But you'll meet. It's not a problem. So many expats live in Boracay Island. For me, that's why I was actually surprised when I moved there in 2011. When I moved there, I lived there for 18 months. When I got there, I was surprised because like that so many expats, British, Canadian, Australian, you name it. I immediately got into a group of guys and we would ride our mountain bikes. We would even take our mountain bikes island hopping. We would go to take it to the mainland. We would ride our mountain bikes to Buruanga, to Antique province. You're gonna meet people. Boracay is one of those places where you get retirees that go there. It used to be more backpackers, but I think a lot of the backpackers now they went to Surigao Island. That what you're seeing in Surigao Island when I first came to Boracay in 2011. That's how Boracay was. A lot of backpackers before, younger people going to Boracay to stay for a few months during very popular kite surfing. Very popular. There's a certain time of the year for kite surfing on Bulabog Beach, and a lot of foreigners. Now I have noticed a lot more Russians. There's a lot more Russians in Boracay. There's actually a flight from Russia to Calibo. There's a direct flight from Russia to Calibo because that's how many Russians come stay in Boracay and live in Boracay. Actually, that one blogger that got sent back, the Russian blogger Vitaly, he flew out of Calibo, man, because to send him back to Russia. Our team can be rice, baby, rice, baby. There's different teams, man. Like there's different ultimate frisbee teams, different beach volleyball teams in Boracay Island. They got uniforms. The ultimate frisbee, they got shorts that they wear. The tops, a lot of them will take off their tops, show off their beach body and all that. But they got shirts like the dry fit shirts with like the name of their team's number even on their back. It's a whole league actually. They do have the tournament, the ultimate frisbee tournament, but if you're living in Boracay, there's like leagues where you can join the beach volleyball, ultimate frisbee. If you want to be a player, if you want to do that every week, there's many tournaments. There's always activities in Boracay. It's a fun place to be at. You're gonna meet many people from many different countries. But the one thing I do notice in Boracay, there are a few in there in Boracay that are OGs. I know Finn's one of my friends is from Canada. There's like the OGs of Boracay. They're like in their 70s already. They've been in Boracay 20, 30 years. But those guys, they stay in Boracay for long periods. But a lot of times people in Boracay, they'll come there, they'll stay there for 6 months and they go. So people come and go, A lot of times the younger people, the digital nomads, you see a lot of foreigners, digital nomads that come to Boracay. But I have noticed the past few years, they've been going more to Surigao Island instead of Boracay Island. What I used to see in Boracay, now I see it in Surigao Island. Hey, Kevin Shores, you're not late, brother. You're not late. Sorry I'm late. You're not late, man. Thank you for joining the live stream, Kevin Shores. I appreciate it. And Derek usually warns me here if the Dodger game started already. Hey, Derek, has the Dodger game started already? Usually Derek will tell me. He mentioned earlier, said, hey, Gino, 1 hour before the Dodger game. I'm a big Dodger fan. That's like my favorite team. Back-to-back champs. We're going for a three-peat. It's going to be an amazing year. Amazing time to be a Dodger fan. All right, I hit all my topics. I hit all the news items here. Again, the Philippine peso, the dollar exchange rate, all-time high, close again. all-time high 60.74 now for the Philippine peso. And like I mentioned before, Fortune and I were talking about it because Fortune is a banker here. He works at a big bank, not just like at a local bank. He's a banker, big RCBC, like the big corporation bank, headquarter building is where Fortune works. He's vacationing right now in Batangas. That's why he's not on the live stream. Enjoy your vacation, Fortune. I'm glad you got the vacation on the beach. But we were talking about it one time, and he was saying, because the Philippines holds a lot of dollars. The Federal Reserve, kind of like the Banco Central of the Philippines, they hold a lot of dollars to back up the Philippine peso. Kind of like the reserve, right? In the US, they got, back when they got gold reserve. Here in the Philippines, the reserve is US dollars. The Philippines is holding like $112 billion. That is the Banco Central. That's the money they're holding to like prop up the Philippine peso. Fortune and I were discussing before, where before it hit 60, that the Banco Central might release some of that dollars. That way, it would prevent the peso to devaluate more, to keep rising, to keep it right at 60 or below 60. But I saw the article recently, not even a week. President Marcos, he decided not to use that maneuver because he thinks because of the oil crisis, it's not going to help much. Because of the oil crisis, the Philippine peso, unfortunately, will just be weaker because the Philippines uses dollars to buy oil. So Philippines need oil, and Philippines need dollars. And with less remittance from OFWs, all that to consider. That's why they're not releasing some of that dollars. But so now, who knows how high the peso will climb? We're almost at 61 pesos per US dollar. So we will have to see. Yes, bottom 2-0. All right, 2-0. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Derek. I knew you were watching my Dodgers. Our Dodgers. I know you have a different team, but thank you, Derek. Good morning, Gino. Hey, Castaway Drift. The Duke of Duma, my brother in Dumaguete City. Hope you're okay with gas being so low. Yeah, Kevin, it's not, I don't think the Philippines, this is my interpretation. I don't think we're gonna run, people, at first, the energy crisis, they were worried about oil, gasoline running out in the Philippines. After doing all my research, all my reading, I don't think we're gonna run out. Philippines is finding other sources now. I'm hearing at least 5 different sources. The thing that my reasoning, this is my own reasoning, that we're not going to run out of gasoline, diesel, oil here in the Philippines. In Southeast Asia, we have the highest price of gasoline or diesel right now. Ever since the Middle East crisis, we pay more here in the Philippines than any country in Southeast Asia, right? So if you're an oil company here in Southeast Asia, you would ship your oil to the Philippines, right? Because you can sell it for more here in the Philippines. The prices here is skyrocketed. It doesn't make sense for you to send it to Vietnam where you sell it for less. Oil companies, they're a business. They're gonna go where they can get the most money for their oil. Petron, Shell, all these oil companies. So we're not, the issue in the Philippines is not running out of oil, running low on oil. The issue is affording it, paying the high price for gasoline, paying whatever gasoline price in the United States right now, Filipinos are paying $2 more a gallon. So if you're paying $4 in the USA, here in the Philippines is $6 a gallon. So that's why you don't see many people traveling, including me. I'm not gonna be traveling during this time. To me, it doesn't make sense. We can have fun in our community here. in Numancia. I'm 10 minutes from the beach. There's activities for us to do. Not the time to like go on a long road trip, like a long road trip. Not a time to put your car on a ferry, go island hopping and start driving. It just costs so much right now. And then even the ferries, they're not consistent, because the ferries, run on gasoline, diesel, so when you go to the port, there's no telling if they're running it or not. They have to have passengers, in order to, they have to look at it as a business. They have to look at it as if they're going to make money. Domestic flights now, if you haven't booked your domestic flight, there are more now, than when the crisis happened. So, Fortune, he had booked a flight in June for a vacation in Bohol, so he got into a good price. But now, if I wanted to go to Bohol and go on vacation in Panglao, it just cost me 2 to 3 times more on the plane ticket. So to me, not a good time to vacation, not to get, like I said, for people that has money, not an issue, right? But for most of us that are on a budget, most of us that watch our money here, it's just less people will be traveling for sure. Less people vacationing. Hey, brother from Vegasville. Hey, Vegasville. Good to see you. Good to see you. I meant to say oil. Yeah, to say oil. Low oil, right? Kevin Shores. Yeah, like I said, I don't think we're gonna run out of oil because, like, again, as we have the highest price for gasoline and diesel in Southeast Asia. If I was Russia, right? If I was Russia, why would I like send my oil to like a country paying me cheaper? I'm going to the country that's like giving me more money, Another awesome live show, bro. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for the kind words. Rich, have a blessed day. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed day. God bless. God bless, my brother. Thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Shekel fan. All right. What's your plan this Holy Week? Stay home. My plan for Holy Week is stay home. We'll attend some of the activities here in our plaza. There's activities by the church here, but stay home. Save our gas, man. Save our gas. We're loaded with food. We got Gub Gub. We got our little nephew from Katiklan vacationing with us. So Leanna should stay busy with Gub Gub. They're outside, riding their bikes, playing in the playground. They went on a walk. Yes, Dazzle, Leanna, and Gub Gub went on a long walk yesterday. So there's enough for us to do here. It's like... Good morning, sir. Hey, Stone Cold. All right. How much is your land worth in Katiklan now? I don't know how much it's worth. I don't know how much it's worth, but I know that the land in Katiklan, I know it's a good investment from what we paid. Prices in Katiklan, for me anyway, it's just going to keep rising because the land in Boracay is, to me, it's unattainable. It's so crazy. The prices of land in Boracay is just so much money. But to me, the expansion of Boracay will happen in the mainland. From Boracay, you're only 15 minutes away by ferry to Katiklan. The expansion is going to happen in Katiklan. That's why I think the value they have on hold right now. The bridge. The bridge is the biggest issue, man. There've been talks about bridge. Plans are already in place. San Miguel Corporation is ready to build the bridge from mainland Aklan to Boracay, but there's opposition building the bridge. But man, if they ever build the bridge, and if they ever build that bridge from Katiklan, it's in Katiklan to Boracay Island, my property value is gonna skyrocket. It's gonna skyrocket. They're already building there's about 20 cruise ships that park. What the cruise ships international, Norwegian, you name it, cruise ships. Right now, they're parking right outside Boracay, and then they go on those little boats, and not the rubber boats, but like good size. I don't know what, but they take their passengers to Boracay. Right now, about 20 cruise ships a year. In Katiklan side right now on the mainland, they're building them a port where the cruise ship can actually park right on the mainland. That way you can actually That's the whole idea of the bridge, was like they can park the cruise ship, you can walk to the cruise ship to the mainland, you can get on the bridge and go to Boracay. That was the whole dynamic. But they're a go now on the building the cruise ship parking on Caticlan side. So to me, that would even increase the value of land in Caticlan. I'm thinking just because, more hotels will be built in the Caticlan side. Like I said, the expansion, there's just more opportunities for expansion on the Caticlan side, on the mainland side. They were actually even gonna build like a water park on the mainland side of Caticlan at one time, but the pandemic kind of ruined that plan. So we'll see. But I know the land that I bought, that Dazzle and I bought in Caticlan, it's got good value. Surrounding our land is people are already building apartments. So if we decide to build an apartment on our land, we can definitely but we'll see. We'll just keep in the land. It's like we in the future we're thinking of several ideas for it. Oh, Chef. Actually, Shekel fan, for me, Virgie's pizza's just okay. I mean, I like, if I tell him toast it more, it comes out better. But I know, Virgie's is here. It's a bakery here in Numancia. Me, I like their mango shake. Is what I like at Virgie's. Good morning. Anything going on in Calibo? Very quiet, Pinoy Rock. There's a lot of processions, like the going to the cathedral. You'll see a lot of processions early in the morning, late at night even. A lot of religious activities, but very quiet. Very so far. It's what I was there in Calibo yesterday. I got my haircut, grocery shopping. I didn't see a lot of activity going on. And today's a holiday, today and tomorrow is a holiday even. So probably less people. A lot of times here, like today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days, people start going to the beach. People go to the beach. You can actually camp on the beach here, set up a tent on the beach. You can bonfire on the beach, and here in Aklan province, from Calibo to Numancia, to Makato, to Tangalan, those are all coastals. Our beach here like just stretch for miles and miles. Plenty of beaches where you can go here in Aklan province. Shekel, is the bridge Caticlan Boracay gonna happen? Right now it's on hold again. Shekel man, right now it's on hold again. The government of Malay, the Malay municipality of Malay, they're the ones against the bridge because they're worried about the boat people, the ferry people that takes what will happen to the livelihood of the people with the ferry. And also they're worried because when you go to Boracay, there's a Caticlan jetty port with the ferry that's taking you. They're concerned because what will happen to the terminal fee. That everybody has to pay a terminal fee. Not Aklan resident. I'm a resident, so I don't have to pay. But all tourists, all outside Aklan resident, if you're not an Aklan resident, there's a terminal fee that you pay at 150 pesos that you have to pay from Caticlan to go to Boracay. So that terminal, the government, of course, their word, we won't have the terminal. If there's a bridge, you won't need a terminal, right? There's a bridge, so there's things to be discussed. But I'm hoping they push through with the bridge myself. I'm pro bridge because to me, there's just so many days in Boracay where when there's a typhoon, anytime the signal number 1 gets declared, they shut down the ferry. So you can actually be stuck on the mainland or you can be stuck in Boracay. What if you have to catch your flight? If you're on vacation in Boracay, you have a flight to catch the next day, they shut the ferry, you're stuck. You just miss your flight. Same thing if you land in the mainland and you're headed to Boracay on your vacation, they shut down the ferry, you can't go to your vacation and you spend your vacation in the hotel on the mainland, so and electricity is an issue. They have to like run the electricity underneath the water from mainland to Boracay. So every year almost, last year happened again, 7 days in Boracay, no electricity because the cable running underneath the water gets damaged. So for 7 days last year, they didn't have electricity in Boracay. Being the number one tourist destination, that's not a good look. That's not a good look for Boracay. If you build the bridge, the plan is your water, your electricity is going to be built underneath the bridge. So it's a solid structure going into, instead of like a cable floating down underneath there in the water that can get damaged with the waves, with typhoons, those cables down below in the water. That's why I'm pro bridge. I'm hoping Pinay Heart. Hey, Pinay Heart. Good to see you. Good to see you, Pinay Heart. My brother Gino. Thank you, Pinay Heart. Thank you. Kevin Shores. Hi, Pinay Heart. Give me a cup of coffee, abundance of sunshine, a long walk, and man, right? What more can you ask, man? You're living the dream, brother. Castaway, you are living the dream, my brother. Simple life. I'm the same way, man. I did my morning walk already this morning before my live stream. That's why when I start my live stream, if you notice, I got like full of energy, full of fire, because like I've already walked. When I'm on my morning walks, I film it, I show it to you guys. All I'm hearing is birds. I come out that corner on my end of my street. I see the sunrise, beautiful sunrise. Just puts me in a good mood. Puts me in a good mood. That's why I'm ready. By the time I get home here, I'm ready to do the live stream. That's kind of like how I start my routine. Kevin Shores, Pinay Heart. All right. If Miami Beach has bridge, why not Boracay? Yeah. To me, it just makes sense. It makes sense to have a bridge. More convenient, and they're not going to allow you to drive your car. That's so in the bridge. There's no space in Boracay for vehicles as it is. What they're going to do, more likely, they're going to build something where they'll e-trike you, electric vehicle you from the mainland to like drop you off at the Boracay site, and then electric vehicles again to take you around Boracay, or they'll allow people to walk on the bridge to go to Boracay. I'm sure or bicycle your way to Boracay. That will even help like the local workers in Boracay, instead of them paying. Now there's an increase. The boat fare from Boracay used to be 50 pesos, right? To go to Boracay, there's an increase. Now it's 60 pesos because of the oil thing. They increased the prices of the ferry ride. So the workers, they got to pay that. Most workers in Boracay, hotel workers, construction workers, restaurant workers, there's a few that they have like the bigger hotels, your Shangri-La, the bigger hotels, got staff room in their hotel. But most workers in Boracay, like Miko, Miko is Dazzle's younger brother, Makmak is Dazzle's older brother. They work in Boracay. They have to ride the ferry every day. 6 pesos going there, 60 pesos going back, 60 going, 60 going. That's 120 pesos just for them to get to Boracay. And then e-trike, another 20, 30 pesos. So they're already spending like 180 pesos of their income every day. And the income in Boracay is not that much. It's like there's people making 500 pesos a day to 600 pesos a day. $10 a day in Boracay for a whole day's work, and you're already spending it on your transportation costs. If you build the bridge, at least they have the option to walk or ride a bicycle. Ride a bicycle to Boracay, man. Derek, Cleveland 2, Dodgers 0. But all right, we got to come back again, man. I think all our wins this year, Derek, is a comeback wins. Oh, except yesterday. We did have a 4-0 lead, going into the 9th inning yesterday. So we got to come back again. We got to come back. Hopefully we don't get shut out. JP, I am headed to check out new hardware store recommended by La Casa Nathan. Wearing my JP already got the Panay Posse hat, man. I can't wait for my hat, man. for the first time. All right. You start your day off perfectly, Gino. Brothers from another, think alike. Walking sunshine creates energy. I know, man. It's the best way for me, like to start my day because like I get out there before 6 a.m. You know, I like catching that as the sunrise. I like catching that cooler still. The temperature is still cooler for me, and it's quiet. A lot of times I'm the only one out. I'm the only nut. I'm the only nut out there that early when I walk out my house here and start walking. But like I said, I get to the back area of our community here. I can hear nothing but birds. You know, nothing bird sounds. Sometimes a rooster. I do hear a rooster from the neighbor subdivision. But just amazing to start your day that way. Dazzle will look like such a boss with her. I can't wait. You did send us the picture. She likes her posse sheriff hat. Thank you so much for that, JP. All right, I'm gonna end the live stream right here. I'm over 2 hours. I tried to limit to 2 hours. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you so much for supporting our channel. We really appreciate everybody's support. Everybody have a good day, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. And everyone, please stay blessed. Please stay blessed. Adopted brother with me born all day during the... that's funny. That's funny, man. All right, take care, Michael. I'm looking forward to getting on your live stream, watching you walk Dumaguete City. Take care, everyone. Everyone, stay blessed.